All right. I see I told you I'd open up two of them. Did it open up two or just one? All right. So let's take a look. Oh, we need to pass these blue papers in. So let's pass the blue papers in real quick. Sorry, I forgot about those. Grab those. You guys said you were good on those. You're going to be happy to know that your homework tonight does not have any graphing on it. Did you pass yours up, Lucas?
Yeah.
You did? Okay. And here. All right. So our notes today, we're still talking about polynomials, but we're going to be adding, subtracting, and multiplying them. Okay? Adding, subtracting, and multiplying them. So if you look here, it says add in a vertical format. Now, I'm going to show you vertical format. I'm going to show you horizontal format, and I'm going to let you use whatever works for you. Okay, so I'm going to show you both. You pick whatever works for you. I know which one I prefer, but you guys can use whatever you think would be best for you. So let's start by vertical. Which way is vertical go? Up and down. So when you do a vertical format, all it wants you to do is add up and down. So you're going to take the first polynomial, which is 3x to the third plus 2x squared minus x minus 7. And then underneath of it, you are going to add this polynomial. So what I do is I line up x to the third minus 10x squared, and then I'm going to put the plus 8 under its like term. Did you get guided notes?
Yeah.
Okay. And now when I add these together, so you're just going to add vertically. So, Ethan, what do you get when you add 3x to the third plus x to the third?
4x third.
4x to the third. And what do you get when you add 2x squared minus 10x squared?
Negative 8x
Negative
squared.
8x squared. What do you have to do with the minus x? Bring it down.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, and then what's negative 7 plus 8?
1.
Positive 1. There's that one. Okay, adding in a vertical. So again, if that is what you like to do it. I tend to be more of a horizontal person. Okay, when I add horizontally, all it wants you to do is add this polynomial and add that polynomial. So horizontally, that means just go across. So Natalie, what are your like terms that you can put together?
3y squared and 5y squared.
Okay, can you put anything with the 9y to the cubed?
No.
No, so you just bring it down because your answer has to be in standard form. So we're going to put that one down first, and then we'll put those together. And when you do, what do you get?
Negative 2y squared.
Good. And then what else can you put together?
Negative 2y and y with negative y.
Negative 1y. If you have 1y, that's the same as negative y, but I like her negative y better. And then what's the last thing that you could put together?
1 and negative 4 get negative 3.
Perfect. Now, that's the way we usually do it, horizontally. It's the way I prefer to do it. But again, you do whatever works for you. Questions on adding? Do you think you can add tonight? You guys are quiet. Okay, subtract. Now, be very careful as you read this because it says subtract this from that. Okay, if I say subtract 2 from 8, what are you going to do? 8 minus 2, right? So I want you to subtract this one from that one. So we're going to write this one on the top because this is vertical. So I will demonstrate it in a vertical way. Actually, I'm going to write this over here. And then we are going to subtract this one. Remember when you subtract, I'm going to always put this in parentheses. All right. And I like to distribute that negative. You could do 8 minus 2, negative 3 minus 6, negative 2 minus negative 1. Okay, you could. I like to distribute the negative. And when I do, I have that 8x to the third minus 3x squared minus 2x plus 9. And then when you guys distribute the negative, what do you get here? Negative 2x what? Cubed minus 6x squared plus x minus 1. And now when you put them together, what do you guys get? 6x cubed minus 9x squared minus x plus 8. Okay, questions there? Well, now let's do it in a horizontal method. Again, subtract this from that. So I'm going to write this one down first, and then I'm going to subtract that from it. Make sure you always put that in parentheses because you're not just subtracting the 3z, you're subtracting that whole polynomial. And then what do I do? Who's absent? Ava. What do I do with that minus sign in the middle?
We can distribute.
And when you do, what do you get?
2z squared plus 3z minus 3z squared minus z plus 4.
And now combine like terms. Can you put anything with 2z squared?
The negative 3z squared.
And what do you get there?
Negative 1z squared.
So negative 1z squared or just negative z squared, either way. What can you put together next?
3z and negative z
And what do you get there?
plus 2z.
And what do you have to bring down on the end?
Positive.
I don't know. I didn't mean to change the color on those. Okay, questions. What do you guys think? Adding and subtracting. I told you guys this would be easy today. Is that good? Okay. Multiplying. Okay. Do you guys remember when you multiplied like 235 times 14? Do you guys remember doing that? Old school multiplication. You would multiply 4 times 5 and get what? 20. Then multiply it 12 plus 2 is 14. And then 8 plus 1 is 9. And then what you always have to put here? Then you did 1 times 5, 1 times 3, 1 times 2. And then what'd you do? Added. Do you remember multiplying? That's vertical method. I absolutely hate vertical method for polynomials. Okay, but I'll show you what you do. Vertical method, it doesn't matter which one you put on top and which one you put. Doesn't matter if I multiply 235 by 14 or 14 by 235. Okay, but I typically put the one that has the smaller number of terms in the bottom. And then I multiplied everything by negative 3. So I got negative 12, negative 6x, and negative times a negative is a positive 3x squared. Then you have your 0 as your placeholder. Multiply everything by x, 4x, 2x squared, negative x to the third, add negative 12, negative 2x, positive 5x squared, negative x to the third. I'm going to be honest, I don't like that. Okay? I don't like that. I didn't even, some of you are writing that down. You don't even have to write that down. I wouldn't even have had you write that. I just wanted to show that to you because I would think if I had asked you guys to multiply this, what would you guys have done? You would have put what? Negative x squared plus 2x plus 4, and then you would have multiplied by what? This is the one I absolutely hate vertical. I would do this. And then you just distribute, right? Remember, you can distribute each term in the trinomial to the binomial or the binomial to the trinomial. So let's try this first. I'm going to go here. What do you guys get when you distribute x to negative x squared? Negative x to the third. What do you get when you give the x here? Positive 2x squared. What do you get when you give x here? Plus 4x. Now, what about when you give negative 3 here? Well, what's a negative times a negative? Positive 3x squared. What about here? Negative 6x. How about here? Negative 12. Combine like terms. Can you put anything with negative x to the third? No. What can you put here and here? What do you get? Plus 5x squared how about here and here? What do you guys get? And then bring down the what? Questions. Okay, you guys try B. Again, I prefer horizontal for multiplication. I prefer horizontal for everything, but I think it was just the way I was taught. Again, you do whatever you want to do. You do you. Okay, looks like a lot of you put your pencils down. So, Jordan, what'd you do first here? You distributed what?
The y.
And what'd you get here?
I got 3y squared x.
Okay, well, you're giving it another. So these are just going up 1 degree. So this would be 3y to that.
To the third.
And then, that's right, when you give it here, what do you get?
2y to the second.
Negative 2y to the second. And how about here?
And then 2y.
Plus 2y. Now the second time you're going to distribute what?
5.
5. And when you do, what do you get here?
15y to the second.
Okay, and then what do you get here?
Negative 10y.
Good. And then what do you get here?
And then just plus.
Good. And then can you put anything with this guy?
No.
No, you only have one of those. What can you put with negative 2y squared?
15y squared.
And what do you get when you put those together?
13y squared.
Positive 13y squared. And then what can you put with 2y?
Negative 10y.
And what do you get there?
8y.
What's your sign?
Negative.
Negative 8y. And then bring down the what?
Plus 10.
Questions? All right, turn it over. Multiply x minus 1 times x plus 4 times x plus 5. So, in a horizontal. When you have 3 of them, you have to do them in a horizontal. And you cannot do 3 of them all at one time. You have to do 2 at a time. So, Jill, let's do these 2. What do you have to do when you do a binomial times a binomial? Foil.
Yeah.
Okay, so what do you get when you foil?
2x.
Ooh, x times x? X squared.
And then x, 4x, sorry.
That's right. And then what here?
Negative x.
And what in the end?
And then negative.
So what do you get when you put all those together?
Negative x cubed. Oh, no, not combining it.
X squared. And then what do you get when you put those guys together? Those are your like terms.
X, 4x squared. No,
If I have 4 x's and I take away 1.
3x.
All right, and then I'm just going to bring this down. Caleb, you get to help me with the next part. What are you going to distribute to each of them first?
X.
Yeah. So guys, when you give them an x, each of your degrees just go up 1. So what does this one become?
X cubed.
And then,
3x squared.
and then,
Negative 4x.
perfect. So you gave each of those an x. Now you're going to give each of them a what, Caleb?
5.
And what do you get when you give a 5 there?
5x squared.
How about here?
15x.
And how about here?
Negative 20.
Perfect. All right, so let's go ahead. What can you put with x to the third?
7.
Okay, how about here?
8x.
Okay, how about here?
11x.
And on the end?
Negative 20.
Perfect. Guys, it does not matter if you had done the x plus 4 and the x plus 5 and then distributed x minus 1. That would have worked too. Questions on that one? So we have 3 of them. All right, there's a whole bunch of formulas here. Sum and difference formula, square of a binomial formula, and a cube of a binomial, which we haven't even gotten to yet. Okay, I'm going to tell you right now, you don't need to know these. I don't waste my time memorizing formulas I don't need to know. Yes, this is a difference of squares. 4n plus 5, 4n minus 5. Just FOIL. Just FOIL. Laura, when I FOIL, what do you get?
16n squared.
16n squared.
And then negative 20n.
Negative 20n.
Plus 20n.
Plus 20n.
And then negative 25.
Okay. Combine your like terms. What happens to the middle terms, Laura?
Cancel out.
And you're left with what?
16n squared minus 25.
All right. So did I need to know that this was equal to a squared minus b squared? No. Just FOIL. You guys know how to FOIL. FOIL. All right, let's look at B. What does it mean to square a binomial? What do you have to do? Do you have a scrimmage today? Good luck. Who do you play?
So.
Okay, good. Jack's not here. Justin, what do you do here? How do I write this first?
9y minus 2.
And then do it what?
Like over again.
Again. And then FOIL. So now what do you get when you FOIL this one, Justin?
81y squared
81y squared. How about here?
minus 18y
Okay, how about here?
minus 18y
Okay, and how about here?
plus 4.
All right, combine your like terms in the middle.
36y.
Bring down the 4. Honestly, what do you guys think of this? Easy. Okay, C is not hard, it's annoying. Okay, it's annoying. Karina, I put you first and then somebody else is going to finish it. All right, Karina, what's it mean? You actually got the easy part. What's it mean to have AB plus 4 to the third power?
You write it out 3 times.
Write it out 3 times. Guys, you cannot FOIL all 3 of them at one time. So, Karina, let's FOIL these 2 first. When you do, what is, now be careful, what's AB times AB? Okay, close. What's A times A?
2a. No, 8 squared.
A squared. What's B times B?
B squared.
So what's AB times AB?
A squared, B squared.
There you go. A squared, B squared. Okay, now what's AB times 4?
4a. And then 4b.
No,
Or
just
4ab.
4AB.
Sorry.
Now what about here?
4ab.
And what about here?
16.
Combine your like terms. We get A squared, B squared, plus how many ABs?
8.
8. AB plus 16. Now, guys, that's just if it was AB plus 4 squared. But we've got this, and then I've got to bring down the what? AB plus 4. Okay, Lucas, you get to help me with this one. Great. All right, so here's the way this works. The first thing you're going to do, Lucas, is give everything an AB. When you do, the A goes up by a degree of 1 and the B goes up by a degree of 1. Okay? So when you give it here, what are you going to get? A cubed, B cubed. When you give it here, what are you going to get?
8a squared
A squared,
b squared
B squared. And what do you get here?
16a.
16AB. So he just, when you give it an AB, the A goes up by a degree of 1, B goes up by a degree of 1. Now we're going to give everything 4, which this should be okay. What do you get there?
4a cubed
are you changing the A's and the B's? Are you multiplying by an A or a B? So it's just 4A squared
Oh, B squared.
B squared. Now give it a 4.
32, 8.
Good. And how about 16 times 4?
64.
Like terms, Lucas. Can I put anything with this guy?
No.
No. A cubed, B cubed. Can you put anything with this one?
4A squared.
Okay, so how many of those do you have all together?
12A squared.
12, A squared, B squared. And then how about that?
48 AB.
48 AB, and then bring down the what? What do you guys think of this? That gets a little tedious. I'm going to show you a shortcut tomorrow. Always the second day, right? Here's your homework.